stuff, and I recommend the technical stuff because I put that one together. We also worked on our communications and our website and our social media. And we were just doing the best we can to be like a great soccer club for you. I want to introduce you to some of the other guys that's on here. We have Emilio Abdallah, who's our marketing director, who's doing a great job. Emilio. And then we have our director of soccer operations, Coach Sal. And then we have our director of coaching, Coach Eddie. The purpose of this webinar, the reason why we're getting everybody together is to just give you a short presentation of what we've been thinking and to try to distill it down to really the important stuff for you. And we're going to do a short question and answer at the end. Put your questions in, and hopefully we've answered them. If there's some at the end that we haven't answered, we'll get to those. And we want to advise you about just our plans for player development. You can advance that slide there, Emilio. The next thing I want to talk about is, the next one after that, I think is right there. And, really, we're very cognizant of making sure that we provide value for you. And obviously this spring has been very interesting. There's been a lot of we didn't get this, we didn't get that, refund for this. But I kind of want to remind you about sort of what the Hawks organization is all about. We're a non-for-profit organization. We just do things because we love the players and we love the game. We do more practices a week than most clubs. We don't charge as much for tournaments, and we actually have to pay for fields and stuff like that. We also have highly licensed coaches. We have licensed coaches, and we get resumes from the best coaches in the area. And, so that's kind of what we want to show you. Okay. So the spring season, we had it. It was not what any of us expected. We were so excited to get on the field. So what were we supposed to do? I mean, we could have, got all coaches go, or said, hey, let's create the best we can of our under the circumstances. We did a virtual training seminar, and I'm so proud of it. Over 100 videos on YouTube. It's technical, and fitness. And honestly, if you and your player are really interested in soccer, go on that and go through each one of them, and go through the shooting with Coach Eddie. We did the physics of the soccer ball. We have the definition of each player and their responsibilities. There is hours and hours of information there. We also ran practices just like we would if we were in season. And now, okay, just letting you know, we did the best that we could under the circumstances. I thought we did a great job providing value, but we know it's not the same. We know it's not playing out in the field. It's not doing what we love. It's not playing games. And so at this point, you're like, oh, well, we didn't play games. What's happening? What we're saying is that the best that we can do is we're going to intend to make it up during the fall, summer, and winter. And we want to tell you that we're going to create the value for that we've always had. And we really thank you for your patience. Do the next slide there. Okay, so in terms of what we've done is the way the soccer operations run is that basically all your costs are kind of fixed. It's just how it works. All of our money kind of goes to coaches. Now, we did save some money on some field rentals that we do, and some referees and some league fees. And we had some additional expenses too, but approximately about 5% of the budget was saved. So if you can figure out how much you paid in tuition or whatever, 5% of that could be refunded of costs. But we think it's better to get that value back to you. And we're gonna talk to you about what we plan to do for the summer and the fall and the winter. Our coach Eddie's gonna explain what we're gonna do this summer. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna try to do something in the winter. But first, I'm gonna turn it over to Coach Sal. He's gonna talk to you a little bit about registration for the fall and the spring seasons. Sal?
Hello, everyone. Coach Sal here. Thank you, Doug. That was well said. Okay, so we're going to talk about registration. The registration for tryouts for new players and current players is expiring tomorrow, Friday, 5/23. All right. Week after that, we're most likely going to send rosters invites. All right. So
Sal, you're breaking up.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you got.
Yeah, now we got you.
You good? All right. So again, I'm sorry if I'm breaking up. So registration for tryout is 5/23. All right. After that, about a week later, 10 days later, you're gonna get an invite to be part of a team. So the deadline for you to accept your position on the team is June 7th. Okay. Now, some parents might say, why so soon? It's a multiple reason why. Okay, we need to form the roster and teams for 2020-21. Also, we need to retain coaches or hire new coaches if we have multiple teams. Another big problem that we have, we gotta try to find facility. As all of you, most of you know, we are not affiliated with any park district. So any soccer field that we are using, we're gonna go get it and pay for it. Now, because there are so many clubs out there, it's very hard to find soccer fields. So we wanna be the first one to ask either schools or park district, and hopefully they give us the fields. We're using school like SAA. In the fall, we use Maine East. We've been using Des Plaines. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to use any fields in Park Ridge. Also, why we need it so soon? Because we need to register the team for the leagues for the following year. Now, another big part of registration is uniform. After you accept your position on the team, we're gonna send a link for you to click on and put your uniform order if you're a new player. Also, with the uniform, it's not just the two jerseys, the shorts and socks. You also need to order practice t-shirts. For any parents or kids that kind of grow out of the uniform, please, if you can donate your uniform, we can always give it to a new player who can afford the uniform, or we might have players that because of short notice, if we can get the uniform on time, so we are able to give the youth uniform. All right, Emilio, can you please change to the next one? All right, so here's the 2021 fees. So our fees, we had decided to keep the same as last year, 1920. The only thing will change is if you go on line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, line 5, Premiership and MRL teams. Premiership and MRL teams are teams that are playing very high division, so the cost of registrations are just higher than the normal leagues. Everything else, pretty much just take a look, everything else stay the same. All right, Emilio, can you go to the next line? All right, now regarding payment, okay, you sign up for registration or tryout. We send the invites for the team. Now, June 7 is the deadline. So what we require when you accept your invite? The only thing we require is $50 commitment fee. They show us that you want to play for FC Hawks for next year. The rest of the payment will not be due until July 21st. July 21st, you can pay in full, or you can pay in payments. So just I want everybody to know, the entire fee needs to be paid by September 30th. Now, for some families who cannot pay September 30th, please email us at info@FCHawks, and we will work with you. Now, let's just say, and I hope not, we don't play the fall season, the worst thing scenario, all right? You will not be charged anything. Again, I want to repeat myself. You will not be charged anything, because we will not sign any teams for any leagues unless we know that we are going to play in the fall. Now, what are we doing with the $50 commitment fee that you guys pay before June 7th? that $50 we will use for credit either toward if let's just say we don't play fall season, we more sure we're gonna offer Zoom training, e-training, like we are doing right now, and we will be charged per lesson. So the $50 can be used for that, or can also be used for winter and spring season. We have not decided, and we hope we're not gonna decide how much we will charge for winter and spring. Hopefully we play the entire year. I think I'm done with the registration. Now I'm gonna pass it on to the DOC of the club, Coach Eddie. Eddie, take on.
Thank you, Sal. Coach Eddie here. So first of all, I want to put a little highlights of what was done so far before I move to the summer training because it's connected. So I just want to say this: as soon as we find out that the spring season was delayed, we were one of the first clubs that actually organized Zoom training. And a lot of other clubs that follow us what we did, so they organize their own Zoom trainings and stuff. Some of them on YouTube page or whatever. So, but we're very proud that we were one of the first one who started that training. So we put the value on the table right away. So we also want to put a highlights on all players and coaches who were able to adjust to all these things, going in front of a camera, creating the plans in a small space. Trust me, that's not easy. So we're very proud of them being able to adjust towards that. Also, the parents who were juggling around and were very supportive. So we really want to thank you for that. So while we're doing the Zoom training, we got more bad news. We find out that pretty much league left us hanging in the air. They just canceled the league, and they left us without any options because we were hoping they're gonna do some kind of like a makeup league in the summer. So basically they just left us down there on our own. So as soon as we receive that information, we start creating the plans going forward. So we're going to present like 3 options that we come up with for a summer season. We do have more options, but those are the first 3 options that we come up with. So I'm going to move to the option 1. So we were anticipating that once things got opened up, that we might not going to be able to use the whole team structure that's the whole team is training together, so that we have to approach with smaller numbers. And guess what? So they come up with 10 players per group, but so we create a plan for a small group training for our club. So in that small group training, there is a lot of guidelines that we have to follow. That we got that info from youth soccer and CDC. So that being said, we're putting in place all these things needed for our small group training. The way the small group training would look for us, so we're creating we call it in soccer like a circuit training. So circuit training, which is basically the training that that each player has their own station. So when you have that own station, you pretty much minimize the contact between the players. So that's the safest option to go with the training. So we put a plan in we put a training plan towards that. So we also explored the option of maybe going in a different state and playing some scrimmage games against the other teams. Obviously, before we put that on the table, we would need to get the consent from the parents. Are they comfortable with that and stuff? And like I said, we're working on those plans as well. So those are the option 1. So small group training with the coaches gonna self-distance themselves. The players gonna have their own station, minimum equipment used, and that's the safest option that we're gonna go with. Hopefully, in the meantime, the things will start changing so we can move to the phase 2. So can I get the next slide? Okay, so option 2. This option actually we were working regardless if these things happened or not. We were in a plan of creating our own house league throughout the summer for our club. So now that this unprecedented time showed up, so that actually plan could be the really best option for us, creating our own house league, so the players can get opportunity to train throughout the whole summer. throughout the whole summer. So the way it would look like in that option too. So basically we're just waiting on the guidelines that we can open up a little more. So hopefully that's going to follow suit. Hopefully very soon. So in that option, we will train like once a week, and we will create scrimmage games on the weekends. So those scrimmage games, we will basically create the teams between inside of our club, and we will have those scrimmage games on the weekends. We will also explore the options of bringing some other teams from the area and scrimmage them. So that's in the work as well. Option 3, can I get the next slide, please? On option 3, once the league got canceled, so we were in touch, we were in communication with the other clubs, surrounding clubs. So we had quite a few Zoom meetings with the DOCs from the other clubs. So what we decided to do, once we find out that the league was canceled, we were trying to we decided to put an option of creating our own league, which actually could work out really well. So the way it would work, I mean, so we exchange information from all clubs, which level teams, what level teams we have, what age groups we have. So there's a proposal on the table to do that league as well. Obviously, we still waiting on a green light from a league to give us sign that we can do so. And if that happened, the proposed teams in the area, which is very prominent teams in the area, so they all agreed to create their own league. So we talk about the Chicago City, we talk about the Pegasus, Chicago Soccer Academy, Jabat, iPro Skills. It's quite a few really good teams in the area. So we're trying to create our own league in there. So there was another option on the table. There's quite a few clubs that they're lucky that they have their own private fields. They're not, some of the clubs are not part of a park district, but they have their own private fields and stuff. So there's an option on the table. That we also can go play against some other club. Let's say we make the like a all club event one weekend. So one club will basically host all of our teams over the weekend. Let's say the girls team is going to play on Saturday, the all boys team play on Sunday. So next week we go being hosted by some other club. There's a club, CSA, that they have their own field. They offer us that option. There's a club, Chicago Inter in Homer Glen. They offer us that option. Indiana Elite from Crown Point offer that option. So there's options on the table for us to do soccer, and we look forward to it. I just want to add one more thing. I know all of our players are anxious to get out and play some soccer, see your friends. I want to say that our coaches are also anxious to get out and see all of those kids. We miss you all, guys. And all we're looking right now, we're just waiting for a green light from the league. We're ready to go. We have a plan on the table, and we look forward to it. Doc, back to you.
Thanks, Coach. That was awesome. Everybody, everyone wants to know kind of how the schedule is going to work, unless there's another pandemic or some weird thing from the governor. This is kind of how our schedule is going to go. So just take a look at this. This will be up on our YouTube page later, so you don't have to memorize it. But this is for people new to the club or people just want to understand how we're doing it or how we work it. This is kind of an idea of how our schedule is going to work. Let's keep that up for another 10 seconds, Emilio, and then we'll go into just if there's any questions, we'll kind of try to see if we can answer any questions. Well, just by the way, questions, if you have a specific question, we like the email because we can respond it right back to you. And then but if you have a question that you think that it might be helpful for all of us, that's what we're doing this all for. So Emilio, do you have any questions that came out from everybody, or did we do okay?
Yeah, no, there's
you know
actually.
what?
Go ahead.
I think I saw one of the questions. Actually, so multiple questions. They're kind of together. All right. So we share this morning with the coaches and team manager an email that we got from the Illinois Youth Soccer about phase 3, starting May 29. Coach Ed and I, we are ready to go for that phase 3. We are just looking for fields. Now, some parents just ask, how are we going to do this if we have a limit of 10 players? the way it's gonna work, what we are trying to put together is we are gonna have an entire soccer field. Okay, we're gonna do 2 groups of 10 players, 9 players and a coach. We're gonna do about 50 minutes, about 10 minutes for team get out and new team go in. So we just gonna Coach Hayden and myself, we're gonna create teams of 9 players randomly, or we're gonna try to do by age group if you can, but you know it's kind of hard, and we are probably gonna be ready to go after the first week of June. But more emails will come down in about next week or so. Soon we finalize facility. Again, if you guys want to help us try to get facility for us, please. We would love to. Emilio, any other questions?
Well, Sal, are you seeing the questions that are going to the chat box?
Yes, I read a couple of them.
Okay, so it looks like a couple more just jumped in. So if you want to just take a look at them. So is Super Y still happening?
I can answer on Super Y. Super Y is most likely it's happening. So Super Y. So I want to add one more thing that Super Y. It is a Hawks players, but it's a completely different entity. So it's completely different entity, and Super Y runs a little separately from a Hawks training, from Hawks original Hawks training. So Super Y is just basically an option for our Hawks players to get some more high level competition, and so that's not included in a regular summer training that we organize for FC Hawks. I mean that's actually plus, but it's a little different entity. So I would include that in a summer training right now. So.
All right, so it's 2 more questions here. It's questions about high school. So the question is, if the school decide not to have a full soccer, the Hawks are willing to do something for the high school boy? And I would say yes. If the high school boys soccer is be canceled, I hope not, because my son is a senior and he can't wait to play. But if it's canceled, we will make sure that the boys will get on the soccer field with us. All right. Another question would be, another question I saw was, what happened if the fall season is canceled and we already pay in full? You will be fully refunded. Okay. If you pay in full and the fall season is canceled, you will be fully refunded.
Sal, I could just add a little extra on high school boys. Let's play scenario that the school decided not to do the fall sport. If the guidelines let us put the proper the proper teams on the field, there is always a discussion between the clubs. Like I mentioned before, if the high school doesn't run their own league, there is offer on the table that the club's going to run their own league for a high school, because we're not the only one club with the high school boys. So there is also proposal on the table for teams to create their own league for a high school boys. So we're thinking about them, and so if the school they don't play in the fall, we're ready to go, and so there's going to be some soccer in the fall. So
okay. So another question here about what is the CDC guideline if someone on the team tests for COVID? Okay, so again, on the email that we got yesterday from the Illinois Youth Soccer is a very, very long letter explaining pretty much what the club, the coach, the player, and the parents need to do in order for us to play. We will be sharing that letter with all the parents in our club. And that question that you just asked is very long. It will be a very long answer. Is on that letter. Okay. And if you have an additional question, so you can always email us at info. It's another question about how will game scrimmage work in 10-player max? How will fans watch? In phase 3 will not be games. It will be strictly practice. Okay. Fans, if we are moving in phase 4, there is 50 people or less. I hope we can play games. Most likely they're gonna ask parents to stay in the car. So we might have 1 or 2 parents to do some Zoom video of the game, I guess. But again, we're just following the guidelines what they're giving us. But phase 3 is strictly 10 player or less. Will be no contact between players. and there will be just practice, no games.
Hey, Sal, I'll take the next question. There was one about like, how can we run a safe league, but the high school feels it's not safe. We're going to be running a safe league no matter what. Just so you know, I mean, the well-being of our players are the most important thing. So if it's not safe, we're not doing it. So in terms of high school boys, you're right. High schools normally play in the fall. And so our fee schedule is on the schedule that we got that will have to be on YouTube, but they don't play at the same time. And
Doug, hold on one second. So I think we skipped
Yes.
one. So someone asked, I think that she needs a clarification. So
How about
teams,
the age group? Okay, so it
Yeah.
wasn't me. So that what I just said about the age group, we're just strictly talking about right now practice for 10 player or less. The team will be by age group. The practice of 10 player or less, let's say if we have a team or 15 players, okay, we're gonna have 10 player or less. That means we have to put 9 players in one group, and the rest of the player, either they're gonna play with the younger group or they're gonna play with the older group. And I hope that answers the question. Teams will be by age group. The practice in phase 3 will be strictly 10 or less. So we have to kind of have to put some kids either with the older or the younger kids.
okay.
can someone take the very next one?
About
Why
the
do you think the club can run a safe league if the high
I got that. I think I got that one, Emilio.
okay,
I just said
okay.
we're going to be safe no matter what. We talked about the high schoolers, and you know, I think at this point, just my experience with webinars, if you guys ever have a question, ever, tonight, tomorrow, whenever, just email us at info@FC Hawks. Find one of the coaches' emails at FC Hawks and just email us, and we'll try to help with you. At this point, I think the best thing that we can do is just to say, kind of close this up. And first of all, on behalf of myself and of all the coaches and everybody that's associated with this organization, I want to say thank you guys so much for spending some time with us. We really do appreciate it. We're so proud of, like, you know, really our players and their families, and you know, the growth of this organization has been just something that is just amazing to me, and it attracts great people. We get A-licensed coaches coming. We have people like Coach Sal and Emilio out here helping out, and we get resumes from coaches all over the state saying, hey, can I be a part of FC Hawks, which is really great. It has a lot to do with all of our awesome players and our awesome families. And so we just want to say thank you. And if you ever want to be a part of this organization, or I want to help with the field, or I want to help with uniforms, or I want to help with like a sponsorship, seriously, just let us know. Just, you know, this is not a club that's run by some owner. It's not a business. It's your club. It's our club, and we're just so proud of it. So I just want to say to all of y'all that are there tonight, thank you so much for being here, and go Hawks.